Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, wanted to seek the blessing of Radha Madhav, Radha Shamsundar, Krishna Ram, Bal Gopal, Nrsimhadev, Jagannath Baldeswar, Radha Damodar, Gaunitai, Tulsi Mani Haridas Thakur, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. Chapter 78 of the 10th canto, the killing of Dantavakra, Viduranath, and Ramahasana. This chapter relates how Lord Krishna killed Dantavakra, and Viduranath, visited Vrindavan, and then returned to Dwarka. It also describes how Lord Baladev killed the offensive Ramahashana Sutta, intent upon avenging the death of his friends, Shishupal, Shalva, Pundarik. Dantavakra appeared on the battlefield with club in hand. Lord Krishna took up his own club. So yesterday we read about how Shalva was destroyed by Sri Krishna, and Dantavakra was a good friend. So now he's also jumped into this battlefield, and he jumped down from his chariot. Actually, Krishna jumped down from his chariot and came before him. Dantavakra then insulted the Lord with harsh words. You are our material cousin, Krishna, but you committed violence against my friends, and now you want to kill me also. Therefore, fool, I will kill you with my thunderbolt club. Dantavakra then struck Krishna a terrific blow on the head. Without budging in the slightest, Lord Krishna bludgeoned Dantavakra's chest and shattered his heart. Dantavakra vomited blood and fell lifeless to the ground. A most subtle and wondrous spark of light then arose from the demon's body and entered Lord Krishna, just as when Shishupal was killed. So both Shishupal and Dantavakra are incarnations of Jay and Vijay in the spiritual world. And they both met the same end, and they will be returned back to the spiritual world, where they continue their seva as doorkeepers. Dantavakra had a brother called Vidurnath, and he became distraught at Dantavakra's death. Taking up his sword, Vidurnath confronted Sri Krishna, but the Lord cut off Vidurnath's head with his Sudarshan Chakra. Very simple end to this unfortunate fellow, but actually he is fortunate because he will have attained liberation just by that one act. Having thus destroyed Shalva and his Shobha ape-shaped along with Dantavakra and his younger brother, all of whom were invincible before any other opponent, the Lord was praised by demigods, human beings, and great sages, by Siddhas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, and Mahogharas, and also by the Apsaras, Pitas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, and the Charanas. As they sung his glories and showered him with flowers, the Supreme Lord entered his festively decorated capital city in the company of the most eminent Vrishnis. Thus, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all mystic power and the Lord of the universe, is ever victorious. Only those of beastly vision think he sometimes suffers defeat. How can the Lord be defeated? He can actually only be defeated through love, not through hatred, and through love of his pure devotees, because they are so committed to him. He will do anything for them, including become their servant, as he did for Arjuna. When Lord Baladev heard that the Pandavas and the Kauravas were about to go to war, in order to remain neutral, he left Dwarka on the pretext of going on pilgrimage. The Lord bathed in sacred places along the Yamuna and the Ganga, such as Prabhash, Tritakupa, and Vishal. And eventually he came to the holy Naimisharanya forest. where great sages were performing an extended fire sacrifice. So this we heard a little bit about in the first canto. So let's continue with that. When the assembled sages greeted him properly by standing up, bowing down, worshipping him, offering him a seat of honor. However, the Lord noticed that Ramaharshana Sutta, who is Srila Vyasadev's disciple, he was sitting on the speaker's seat, but he had failed to stand in deference to him. Greatly angered by this offense, Lord Balaram thought to himself. Now, this was perhaps some can say not a huge offense. He just didn't stand up to honor the Lord. But in another sense, it was a huge offense because the Lord has appeared in the arena, and Ramanuja Sutta knows this. And as an example to everyone, he should have stood up and greeted the Lord, but he didn't. And this is a huge fault, actually. One who is a teacher, one who is a guru, he must understand that when the Lord is, Supreme Lord is present, you have to give that personality full respect. So by getting angry, he wasn't angry because of any envy or real anger as such. He just wanted to teach that no matter what position one has, when the Supreme Lord is present, honor has to be given, especially by a learned person. Because this fool born from an improperly mixed marriage sits above all these Brahmins and even above me, the protector of religion, he deserves to die. So Lord Balaram, he decided that the suitable punishment was death. Although he is a disciple of the divine sage Vyas and has thoroughly learned many scriptures from him, including the law books of religious duties and the epic histories and Puranas, all this study has not produced good qualities in him. So this is the point. He is a leader. He is a religious guru. But yet he and read so many scriptures, so learned. But unfortunately, he still disrespected the Lord. Rather, his study of the scriptures is like an actor studying his part. He's just false. For he is not self-controlled or humble, and vainly presumes himself a scholarly author, though he has failed to conquer his own mind. This very purpose of my descent into this world is to kill such hypocrites who pretend to be religious. Indeed, they are the most sinful rascals. Thus, having spoken, the Lord killed him by picking up a blade of kusha grass and touching him with its tip. So the Lord, he showed that it's no big deal to finish you off. You're so proud, and you haven't learned, and even though your guru is Vyas himself, still you haven't learned anything. So the Sambu sages were disturbed at what Balaram had done. They killed the speaker. He's killed the speaker. And they said to him, "You have unknowingly killed a Brahmin." Of course, that was not unknowingly. He did it on purpose and committed an irreligious act. Now, is it irreligious? No. Nothing the Lord can do is irreligious. It may appear to be on the surface, but actually this is not irreligious because it's the Lord's activity. Lord can never do anything irreligious. They had given him the seat. They had given him the seat of a spiritual master, promised him long life and freedom from physical pain for as long as this sacrifice continued. Therefore, even though you are above the Vedic injunctions, we request you to set a perfect example for the general populace by atoning for this sin. He didn't have to atone. But as an example, the sages requested him. Baladev responded that he will certainly atone for this act, as the sages would desire, and could even, by his mystic power, restore everything they promised from Maharshi and Sutta, long life, strength, and sensory power. But the sages intimated that they did not want Baladev to undo his actions. No, because his actions were proper. No need to undo them. So then Sri Baladev followed the Vedic maxim that one's son takes birth as one's own self, granted to Ramaharshan's son Ugrashava, and that is Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev or Sutta? Sutta Goswami, the position of speaker of the Puranas. And in accordance with the sage's desires, he promised Ugrashava a long life with unfailing sensory capacity. So then Sutta Goswami continued the pravachan. Sutta Goswami was already very qualified. He was there when Shukadev Goswami spoke the Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So he already was an extraordinarily learned personality on a par to Sukadev Goswami himself. Baladev requested how he could further serve the sages, and they said, a fearsome demon named Balvala, the son of Ivala, comes here every new moon day and contaminates our sacrifice. O descendant of Dasharha, please kill that sinful demon who pours down pus, blood, feces, urine, wine, meat upon us. This is the best service you can do for us. Thereafter, for 12 months, you should circumambulate the land of Bharat in a mood of serious meditation, executing austerities and bathing at various holy pilgrimage sites. In this way, you will become purified. The Lord doesn't need to become purified. He is completely spiritual. He doesn't have a material body like ours. But this was to set an example. And look at the power of the sages. The Lord deferred to them. So chapter 79, Lord Balaram goes on pilgrimage. This chapter describes how Lord Balaram satisfied the Brahmins by killing Balavala, bathed at various holy sites, pilgrimage sites, and attempted to dissuade Bhishma Sen and Duryodhan from fighting. So at the sacrificial arena of the sages at Nimisharanya forest, a harsh wind began to blow on the new moon day, Amavasya, spreading the obnoxious smell of pus and obscuring everything with dust. The demon Balaval then appeared there with a trident in his hand, his massive body pitch black and his face very frightening. Upon seeing him, Lord Balaram thought of his club, which tears to pieces his enemy's armies, and his plough weapon, which punishes the demons. Thus summoned, his two weapons appeared before him at once. Lord Baladev caught the demon with his plough and then struck him with a ferocious blow on the head with his club, killing him. The sages chanted Lord Baladev's glories and presented him a Vaijayanti garland of unfading lotuses in which resides the goddess of fortune. And they also gave him a set of divine garments and jewelry. This is Balavala, his end. Balaram giving him a hard time. Balaram then began his pilgrimage. Given leave by the sages, the Lord went with a contingent of Brahmins to the Kaushika river, where he bathed. From there, so now we'll have a little tour. what he did. From there he went to the lake from which flows the river Saryu. He followed the course of the Saryu until he came to Prayag, where he bathed. Next he went to the ashram of Pulahas, Rishi. He bathed in the Gomati, Gandaki, Vipasha rivers, immersed himself in the Shona. He went to Gaya, where he worshipped his forefathers, to the mother of the Ganga, to the mouth of the Ganga, where he performed purifying oblations. At Mount Mahendra, he saw Lord Parshuram and offered him prayers. Then he bathed in the 7 branches of the Gadari river, also in the rivers Vena, Pampa, Bhimrati. Then Lord Balaram met Lord Skanda. Skanda is Kartikeya, and visited Shaila, the abode of Lord Girish. That's Lord Shiva. In the groves known as Dravida Desh, the Lord saw the sacred Venkat Hill, as well as the cities of Kamakoshni and Kanchi, the exalted Kaveri River. So this is South India now. The most holy Sri Ranga, where Lord Krishna has manifested himself. From there he went to Rishabha mountain, where Lord Krishna also lives. Then he came to Shetu Banda, Rameshwar, where the grievous sins are destroyed. There at Shetubanda, he gave Brahmins 10,000 cows in charity. He then visited the Katamala and Tamraparni rivers and the Malaya mountains. In the Malaya range, Lord Balaram found Agastya Rishi sitting in meditation. After bowing down to the sage, the Lord offered him prayers. Then he proceeded to Kanyakumari, where he saw the goddess Durga. He went to Falguna Tirtha and bathed in the sacred Pancha Prasrara lake, where Lord Vishnu had directly manifested himself, and he gave away 10,000 cows. Then he traveled through the kingdoms of Kerala and Trigatta, where he visited Shiva's sacred city of Gokarna, where Shiva manifests himself. After also visiting goddess Parvati, who dwells on an island. So this is interesting, how Lord Balaram is visiting Shiv Parvati. He's giving them so much respect and love because they're special personalities. He went to the district of Suparaka and bathed in the Tapi, Payoshini, and Nirvindya. He then entered the Dandaka forest and went to the river Reva, along which the city of Mahismati is found. Then he bathed at Manutirtha and finally returned to Babhash. This is a phenomenal yatra. When he heard from some Brahmins news of the battle between the Kurus and the Pandavas, the Lord went to Kurukshetra to try to stop the duel between Bhim and Duryodhana. So this is right at the end. The Kuru armies had been finished by the Pandavas, and Bhim and Duryodhana were fighting it out. But he could not dissuade them from fighting. So deep was their enmity. Understanding that the fight was the arrangement of fate, Lord Baladev left the battlefield and returned to Dwarka. So he tried to influence the end, because actually Bhim was dear to him, but Duryodhana was even more dear to him because he was his student. And Bhim had just fought Duryodhana and beaten him in perhaps a little bit of an unfair way. And Balaram became very angry. And at that time, Krishna said to Balaram, "Where have you been all this time? You're trying to influence the end, but you haven't been there." during the battle itself. So you can't influence the battle, the outcome now. And Balaram respected that, and he left. He went back to Dwarka. Sometime later, Balaram again went to Naimisharani forest, where the sages performed a number of fire sacrifices on his behalf. Lord Baladev reciprocated by granting the sages transcendental knowledge and revealing to them his eternal identity, where they could see the whole universe within him and also see him pervading everything, all the activities. So this shows how even the sages are not fully aware of the position of the Lord Balaram, and he revealed it to them. So if the sages cannot fully understand, what chance have we got? All the activities of the unlimited Lord Balaram were amazing. Anyone who regularly remembers them at dawn and dusk will become very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Vishnu. So this is the journey from Kurukshetra to Dwarka. This is the timeline of the Mahabharata war. Very interesting. So this is the peace mission in the before Christ, 3026, September the 26th, 14th October, the solar eclipse took place. Duryodhana rejected the peace proposal on the 5th of October. Balaram's pilgrimage started 1st November. Took 42 days. War started 25th of November. This is the 14th night when Dronacharya was killed. Bhishma was killed here. And then it ends on Amavasya, 12th of December. Interesting. 3067. Interesting timeline. And this is the lineage of Balaram, where he comes from. His ancestors, King Surasena is the most famous king at that time. And this is Arjun's tour, because he also went on a tour. So we finished there. Anybody, any questions, any comments?
Yes,
Yes, Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yes, Naniben?
Yeah. What I could not understand, if you can clarify, please, the sages at Naimisharanya, I know they had continued this yagna for, I think, 1,000 years. But I thought it happened, yes, I thought it happened when the Kali Yuga was ending.
Yeah.
No, not Kali Yuga, the beginning of the Kali Yuga and the end of
Dwapar.
Beginning, yes, beginning of Kali Yuga and the end of the Dwapar Yuga. But I thought that it came when Krishna was no more.
When he left.
When he left. So, but I couldn't understand. I thought Krishna already left by that time?
No, that's an excellent point. The thing is, sometimes these timelines are a little blurred because you're absolutely right. Because in the first canto, it explains after Krishna leaves, Naimisharanya sages started so that Kali Yuga can be stopped for as long as they did the yajna. But sometimes these timelines are a little blurred, and maybe from this it's very clear that the sages had already started the in preparation for Kali Yuga. They'd already started their yajna at Naimisharanya, and then Balaram went there and then he did his thing, and then he went on his pilgrimage. So Yeah, there's a little bit of a contradiction there, but I think sometimes these things, timelines are a little blurred because Kali Yuga essentially can even start when the Lord is present, but the effect is not there, right? It's just the calendar time. As soon as he goes, the Kali Yuga does fully manifest. But the timeline of when Kali Yuga starts can be a little before even the Lord disappears. So I think that's what's happened here. Kali Yuga has started, and the Lord is still present. So the effect of Kali Yuga is not there, but the Nemi Saranya sages have started the yagya.
I think that makes sense because somebody told me that the Kali Yuga has already started, but as you said, the bad effects were still there because the Lord was still around.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
Probably it was the end of the Sandhya of the Dwapar Yuga.
Ah, Sandhya, that's it. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
There's a little time of overlap. Yes.
Overlap, yes. Yeah. Okay,
Right.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Daniman, because I also was thinking the same when I was reading it. Hang on, didn't Kali Yuga? But you've actually, by that question, have put some clarity to it. Thank you for that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shyamalini?
Yes, Prabhu. So you said something the sages didn't understand. But what about us?
Yeah.
What was it? Can you explain
Oh,
that? Yeah.
because when Balaram came back, he revealed to them who he is. You know, he revealed to them who he is. So that's a very interesting comment. Let's just find that
Mm.
here. Lord Balaram reciprocated by granting the sages transcendental and revealing to them his eternal identity, where they could see the whole universe within him and also see him pervading everywhere. So that means they were not aware of this when he initially came and killed Ramahashana Sutta. So because they were saying, oh, you have now become contaminated, you have to go to bathe in all the holy places. But if they had known that this is the Supreme Lord, they would not have made those comments because the Lord can never be contaminated in any circumstance.
Definitely, yeah.
Mm. So it's
Yeah.
interesting, and yes, that means, Krishna and Balaram were not recognized perhaps even by the sages. So, what chance do we have? Luckily the acharyas have given us so much. So we are even though we're in Kali Yuga, we're very fortunate to have this transcendental knowledge. Without it, we would be totally lost. We already lost anyway, but totally lost. So we are very lucky. We're lucky to have this knowledge. Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Also, you say Krishna, he manifested somewhere.
Ah,
Can't remember.
yeah, there's a few places it says here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's a few places where he, like even Lord Shiva, here it is, look, Gokarna, where Lord Shiva manifests himself. And then Krishna, there's a few other places where it's described like that about Krishna himself. Here, he went to the Rishabh mountain where Lord Krishna also lives. Of course, and then this Sri Ranga where Lord Krishna manifested himself. Sri Rangam, who's the deity there? Do you remember? Sri Rangam? It's Mahavishnu. It's Mahavishnu, yeah. Yeah, lying down. Huge deity.
It's
So,
not in South India. Yeah.
sorry? Yeah.
Is it
South.
in South India? Sri
That's correct.
Lanka.
Yeah. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so, how did he manifest? In the deity appeared? No,
So, yes, it's a deity. It's a deity. And
that appeared.
yes, and this is very interesting. It says where Lord Krishna also lives. It means that deity is especially potent. So that's very interesting how it's described where Krishna also lives. or where Krishna manifested himself. So these are very special places.
Which deity did you say is Mahavishnu?
Yeah, in Sri Rangam. Huge deity. It's like,
Mahavishnu, yeah.
I mean, you can't really measure it, but I would say about 20, 30 feet. It's huge. Huge.
Wow.
And they have 3 doors. If you take darshan, you go past all 3 doors, and you have to be quite sharp in able to have that darshan because it's easy to miss. I remember one year we did miss it. Well, I didn't miss it. I saw it, but later I asked the devotees, "Wow, wasn't that beautiful?" And they were saying, "What? We didn't see." And then we went again, and then they were able to see. That was quite interesting. That was quite interesting. And
So
it's
why you can't see? Sorry.
Oh, it's very dark. They don't use electricity. They use a lamp.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I
A
see.
ghee lamp. Yeah, yeah. No, that was doors. Remember? That was doors. And yeah, when the pujari holds the light closer, you can have a better. But if you don't know what you're looking for in the first place, you may miss it. So even with the light. So
Oh,
yeah, very interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
It is a phenomenal. And we were lucky. We were in a queue for a long time. But then when we went second time, we bypassed everything. That was interesting. The Lord allowed us that second darshan. So
Okay. So Prabhu, that deity appeared, yeah, by
yeah,
itself. Yeah.
self-manifested.
Wow.
Yes, that's correct.
Um,
It's so huge. There's
mm,
no way anybody can make that deity.
wow.
So yeah.
Very
Fascinating.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shamalini.
That's all right.
Okay, so unless there's something else, we can stop there. Srimad.
Yeah, Prabhu, that Rishabh Mount, where was
That I
that?
don't know. Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah,
Heard of Rishabh Mountain? We haven't heard of that one.
where Lord Krishna also lives.
Caves, yeah. I don't know what that is. Yeah, maybe.
Rishabh.
Yeah. No, we'll have a look and see if we can find any reference to that. What that is, where that is. We're
Okay.
in the south somewhere because this is all related to the south. Kanchipuram,
Mm,
Puram, yeah. Some amazing
okay.
places. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
You've been there to South India, yeah? You
Oh
said, yeah?
yeah. We've been to most of these places. Didn't hear about Rishabh Mountain at all. So
Okay, Prabhu.
all right.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai.